Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Dr. Linda Jordon, and I am so excited to be a part of the Comeback Champion Summit. So today I'm going to talk to you about how your excuses are preventing you from living your best life. But first, I'm going to share my slides, and then we will get started. So again, just to give you a little bit about who I am and what I'm all about. Again, my name is Dr. Linda Jordon. I am a wife, mother, and a breast cancer survivor. I'm a co-author of 2 books currently. The first is The Voice of Hope, and this book is about inspiring stories for caregivers. And I ended up writing that book due to an unforeseen circumstance with my daughter getting sick unexpectedly, and I found myself being a caregiver. And so I wanted to share my story with others. My second book is called Life Boost. And this book is about strategies to help people in life, in business, and health. And so I wanted to share my story around how I got started as an entrepreneur. You see the lovely picture of my husband and my beautiful daughter. And then in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see Breast Cancer Angel Network. After being diagnosed with breast cancer, I decided to start a nonprofit. I really wanted to help individuals who are suffering with breast cancer or recently diagnosed, to find the resources and information that they need, whether it's a male or female, find the information that they need. Because when I was going through breast cancer, I couldn't find all the information and I was struggling. And so I wanted to be able to provide services to others so that they wouldn't have to struggle like I did. So that's why I started that company. A little bit more about me. I worked in corporate America for over 30 years. I'm a certified life coach. I'm a certified coach, trainer, speaker with the John Maxwell Leadership Team. I'm certified in emotional intelligence, also neuro-linguistic programming. And I received my Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration, a Master's in Organizational Change Management and Leadership. And then most importantly, I finished my doctorate degree last year from the University of Arizona Global Campus. And that's in organizational development and leadership. So yes, I'm a business consultant, I'm a coach, speaker, and trainer. But the fun part about me is I'm a real estate investor. I own and operate a real estate franchise business, a rental property business, and then my leadership coaching and training. And the bottom left picture is a home that I recently remodeled, and it was under contract when I took the picture, and we have recently sold that property. So that's part of the fun part of me that I really love to do. And then the other picture on the right is the picture of a home with keys. And so I teach individuals about how to use real estate to make money. I call it that mailbox money. You know, you're asleep and money is coming in the mail all the time. So I enjoy doing that. That's the fun part about me. So now more on to you. The purpose of today is to really talk about how you are allowing your excuses to prevent you from living your best life, what it is that you want to do most. So you probably don't know, but the average person makes up 6 excuses per day for not doing anything. 6 excuses. Now, according to my calculations, that's over 2,000 excuses per year. Over 2,000. I see that as 2,000 missed opportunities in your life, in your business, in your health, but most importantly, in your bank account. Heck, I got up this morning and probably had over 2,000 reasons why I didn't want to get out of bed, but I had to. We all have to. We can't allow excuses to prevent us from doing what we need to do. You see, in order to be successful, you need to stop making excuses, because your excuse is not going to pay the bills. It's not going to help you lose that weight. And it's definitely not going to put any money in your bank account. So stop making those excuses and get on with your life so that you can live your best life. So remember that, 2,000 missed opportunities. That's huge. So I'm going to help you and show you how to do that with my 5-step formula. So I talked about excuses, but there's 3 common excuses that we all tell ourselves. First, we tell ourselves that we don't have enough money. We tell ourselves that we don't have enough time. But think about it. We all get the same 24 hours in a day. Now, what happens to that time? Heck, sometimes I don't have a clue myself. You wake up in the morning and next thing you know, it's like 12 o'clock. But one of the things you need to start doing is creating a schedule. Make sure that you document everything that you're going to do for the day. I document everything. I wake up in the morning at 8. I've got all my stuff scheduled up till noon. Even in the evening, I have time allotted for cooking dinner, family time. And then when I need to focus on my business, that's after everyone has settled down. We've watched television, we've had time for bonding. That's when I focus on my business. So you want to make sure that you have balance so that you have enough time to get the things done that you need to. And then the third excuse is, I don't know how, or I don't know who. Now, we often tell ourselves that we don't know how to do something. And that's because we're not really sure of what we need to do, or we're not sure who to ask. And it's okay not to know, but know that you have tools in your toolbox. There are people that you know that know someone else that can connect you with another person. So, that excuse of I don't know or I don't know how, we're going to learn to eliminate that so that you no longer have an excuse for not doing something. You no longer have an excuse for not having that money in the bank account that you want. You no longer have an excuse for not starting that business or focusing on that promotion that you want to get at your job. Or maybe it's, losing 15, 20 pounds, whatever it is. Or maybe you're ready to retire, walk away from corporate and start a different life. Whatever it is that you want to do, we're going to learn today how those excuses are preventing you from doing that. It's preventing you, it's holding you back from living your best life. So we're going to really get into eliminating your potential so that you can live your best life. Now, we talked about those 3 excuses, but the interesting thing is that out of excuses are fears. Yes, we all fear something. The first fear that we focus on is that fear of failure. Yes, nobody wants to fail. We all want to succeed because we all want to be successful. But in our minds, that fear of failure pops right in and it just holds you back. It just tells you that, why try that? Because you're not going to be successful. And so we tell ourselves that, it's not going to work. Or you have that fear of rejection. Maybe you tried it the first time, it didn't work so well, so you decided to give up. You're not going to try it again. Or you've told your friends and family that you wanted to do something different, thinking out of the box. And people said, it's not going to work. And so you figured, okay, I'm not going to try it because you don't want to be rejected. Or the third one is, I'm not good enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not skinny enough. I'm not smart enough. We tell ourselves these. And it's just so unhealthy. You are good enough to do whatever it is you really want to do. So think about this for a moment. We all remember the Olympics and Simone Biles, who is the greatest gymnast there is. She was faced with fears. She was going through a lot of emotional things at the time, but she had so much pressure on her to be the best. So much pressure. And she didn't want to let the US down. She didn't want to let anyone down. Most importantly, she didn't want to let herself down. But she knew that she needed to take care of herself mentally. So yes, the greatest Olympian decided to step aside and take a break for a moment to get herself together. You see, sometimes we are all faced with trying to get ourselves together, and we don't want to step aside because of that fear, because of that excuse. We're thinking about these perceptions that people may have on us. And so we decide not to do that. But Simone Biles was brave enough to step away, get herself together, emotionally. And then she was ready to go back. So sometimes you have to take a step back to take a step forward. I'll give you another great example. When I got into real estate investing, first thing I did was I told my family, and then I told my friends. I was so excited about, starting a business and investing in real estate, trying to make, fulfill my dream. And the first thing that people told me was, you're going to lose your shirt. So that fear of failure automatically kicked in. Who's going to buy from me? Who's going to sell me their house? Who's going to give me money, first of all, to invest? So those fears just came in. And then I was thinking, holy crap, do I know enough to do this? So then I started to think I wasn't good enough to get into real estate investing. I was talking myself out of that. All those fears and excuses and emotions were just rolling through my head, and I'm thinking, this is really not going to work. But then I took a step back and I said, I need to prove to myself that I can do it, whether anyone thinks that I can or not. You see, sometimes you have to go alone, and it can be lonely. Trying to start a business, create a new career for yourself, it can be very lonely, but sometimes you have to go it alone. So I learned that, and I was okay with it because I want to make sure that I could do it. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that you have to trust yourself. You have to have faith in yourself, and you have to be comfortable in going alone, doing it by yourself. And it's going to be hard, but you can do it because you don't want to allow another excuse to get in your way. And you don't want fear to hold you back from living your best life because you are a champion. I know that you can do it. You know you can do it deep down inside. So you've got to dig really deep so that you can overcome these fears and stop creating excuses. So if you have a piece of paper in front of you, I want you to take a few moments and to write this down. Who will benefit if your dream is realized? Who will benefit if your dream is realized? So I want you to start thinking about things of that nature because oftentimes we don't think about the benefit of making that dream come to reality because we're so focused on perceptions from other people. So we're going to stop doing that today. So write that down. Who will benefit if your dream is realized? So as we get into the 5-step formula so that you can illuminate your potential, live your best life, remove all these excuses and remove all those fears and doubts, this is how you do it. So step number 1, have the right mindset. I know it may sound a little cliche, but attitude is a choice. You can have a positive attitude and be successful and make progress, or you can have a negative attitude and stay where you are. But most people don't want to stay where they are. They want to move forward. Yes, you too can turn lemons into lemonade. It's all about learning to get along with others, networking with individuals, getting out of your comfort zone, connecting with other individuals, like-minded individuals who have that right mindset, who have that positive mindset. You see, when I wanted to start my business, I had to surround myself by individuals that I hadn't met before because my mindset wasn't there just yet. But as I connected with other individuals, that positive mindset kicked in and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I can do it. And so when I got into real estate investing, it was a piece of cake because everyone was pumping me up. They made me feel good about what I was doing. And I was making progress because I believed in myself. And yes, I was turning lemons into lemonade. So that's the fun part about it. Attitude is the choice. Now, as we move to step number 2, setting goals for yourself. And we all set goals. January 1 comes around, what are we all doing? Setting goals for ourselves. We're having the vision board parties and we're making all these lists and we're saying we're going to get things done. But what happens when June comes around? Yes, June is approaching us very quickly. Where is your list? Where are you with your goals and objectives? You probably can't even find your list. So what I want you to do right now is take that piece of paper and write out 3 top goals that you want to get done between now and whatever time period you're thinking. Now, I don't want you to think small. Don't think that, well, by 12/31/2022, I want to have these things done. You see, goals don't work that way. You've got to think long term as well as short term. You see, I want you to start thinking about goals for the next 5 years, the next 10 years, the next 15 years. Where do you want to be? And as you're thinking about these three top goals, I also want you to write out, why are these goals important? Just don't write goals to be writing them. Don't write goals because someone told you to do so. Or don't write goals because you're thinking, well, I want to get this done by the end of the year, and then poof, it goes away. That's kind of what we do with weight loss, Every year, January when it comes around, we all want to lose this 10 pounds. And then, by February, March, you've had Valentine's Day candy and you've gained a little bit of weight. You're like, oh, not working, so I'll do it next year. That's not what we do with goals. You write your goals down. You put timelines by them because we want to hold ourselves accountable. I want you to hold yourself accountable. So write out three top goals. Write down, why are they important to you? And then secondly, what are you going to do differently this year in order to achieve those goals? So I don't want you to be thinking about what you did last year, what you did 2 years ago, what you did 3 years ago. I want you to think about, what are you going to do differently today to make an impact in your life? No one can make this change but you. So you need to set goals for yourself. Now, again, don't be thinking short term, the next 5 years, or let's start with the next 2 to 3 years, then the next 5, and then the next 10. Think long term, because goals will change all the time based upon what's happening in your life. Even though you may achieve that one goal, you want to add a little bit more to it. So for example, in real estate, and I also do the coaching, but in real estate, my first goal was to buy 10 homes, keep a couple as rentals, like 2 or 3 as rentals, and then fix and flip the rest. As I got into the business, my goal, I stretched it. So you want to have stretch goals. So I doubled it. So sometimes you have to have stretch goals. Just don't sell yourself short on simple goals. Add to those goals so that you can achieve that the next year, and just keep adding more and more. But the most important thing is to understand why those goals are important to you. But then what are you going to do differently so that you can achieve those goals? Now, as we get into step number 3, it's consistency, it's being disciplined, and it's being committed to your goals. What do I mean by that? Well, being consistent, if you've ever planted a seed, you've got to make sure that the soil is healthy. You got to make sure that it's moist. You plant your seed, and then you cover the seed with soil, and then you wait for it to grow. See, because you have to have patience. Now, in that process of planting that seed, you just don't plant it and leave it. You go back the next day and you pull out the weeds and you make sure that your seed is healthy, and you add a little bit more water. And then in the next couple of weeks, you keep doing that until you start to see growth. The little spur will come out, the little green leaf will pop out, and then you nurture that plant. And you keep nurturing, you keep watering. You go back and you pull out the weeds. You spray for bugs or insects or anything that may be harming your innocent plant. So you want to value that growth of that seed coming about, because we want to start our goals small. Don't come with this huge goal that you're probably not going to achieve. Don't set yourself up for failure. Start small, just like you're planting a seed. And as you start to nurture that one goal, you'll start to see growth happening. And then before you know it, it's a plant. Let's say it's a tomato plant, and it's ready to bear fruit. It's just like your goals. You have to nurture them. You have to be consistent with them, time over time. Because we all know the way you do anything is the way you do everything. Continuing on with step number 3, be disciplined and be committed. There's going to be highs and lows in your life. There's going to be highs and lows in your business. There's going to be highs and lows with weight loss. There's going to be highs and lows in your bank account. But you have to be committed in order to change your life. You see, I said earlier, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I was. And at that time, I was working in corporate America. And, when you get that phone call that you've got cancer, your mind is wondering, like, what the heck am I going to do? And I started to think that way, but I always had a plan in place. But I never really thought that I was actually going to use that plan until I got that phone call. And so I started using my plan A, B, and C. And I was committed because, as I tell people, breast cancer was a blessing to me because it allowed me to do something different in my life. See, I was thinking that 9 to 5 was going to be that be all, end all, and it really wasn't. And so I had to create my plan of action. And I was committed to my plan because I wanted it to really make a change in my life because I had to. I had to deal with breast cancer. I had to deal with how am I going to pay my bills? I had to deal with what's going to be next in my life. So I was committed to make a change. You could be committed to make a change, but I don't want you to wait until there's a life-changing event to make you change. Do it today. Do it now. And when you're disciplined and committed, it will help you overcome all the challenges that you have that you may think may be so huge, but in the whole scheme of things, they're not as big as you may believe. It will also help you overcome that fear of failure. Because for me, failure was not an option. I didn't have a choice. I had to beat breast cancer, and I had to beat the idea that I was not going to be successful. So I had to change all of that so that I could be successful. So be disciplined in what you're doing, be committed to what you're doing, because it will happen. But you've got to hang in there with those highs and lows because, life is not easy. But if you're disciplined, you're committed, and you're consistent, it can make a difference and change your life. Now, as we get into step number 4, this is one of my favorite parts. It's around that fixed mindset to growth mindset. You see, in corporate America, I had that fixed mindset. Get up every morning like we all do. Go to your 9 to 5, do your work, whatever you're doing, managing a team or having meetings, get that paycheck, go home, have your weekend, you start all over again on Monday morning. But when there's a change in your life or when you're ready to do something differently and you're tired of the way things are, you're going to get into that growth mindset. Now, there's 3 parts in order to get to the growth mindset. The first is you've got to get out of your comfort zone. So if you have your pen and paper, write that down. Get out of your comfort zone. To me, that's get out of your own way. You've got to do things that you're not comfortable doing. You've got to do it. You got to talk to people that you've never talked to before. You've got to feel okay with that. Build up your self-confidence, and it will happen. And then as you start to network with other individuals, you'll start to connect, have conversations, build great relationships. And then once you've mastered that, get into that learning zone, because I want you to invest in yourself. Invest in yourself, whether that means getting coaching, getting training, different types of certification, reading, connecting with others, learning as much as you can. Invest in yourself. And that helps you to get to the next stage, which is that growth mindset. Then you're ready to embark on anything that may come in front of you. Fears, you'll be like, no sweat, I got this. You won't be saying I'm not good enough. You won't be saying I don't have enough money or I don't have enough time, because you're in that growth mindset. You're not worried about all of that. You're worried about getting it done. You're worried about the process. See, money will come later. But what I need you to start doing is thinking in that growth mindset, that positive mindset that you can do anything that you want to do. And you can do that. I just need you to be in that growth mindset. And then the 5th step, which is the most important. Now, you've all heard about GPA for college or GPA for school. In my mind, there's a GPA for success. What is your goal? What is your primary goal that you're looking to achieve? Do you have a plan in place in order to make that happen? And are you taking any action? Because you see, a goal with no plan is just a hope. And I don't want you to hope that something is going to happen. I want you to have a plan of action and know that it's going to happen based upon your timeline. See, for me, I call it bet on yourself, BET. Believe in yourself. Know that you can do it. You are so confident. You can make anything happen. And you can, if you believe in yourself. Get rid of all the fears and all the doubts, and it can happen. Have the energy. Be excited. Change is on the way to happen for you. Be excited about change. Don't feel grumpy. Don't feel like, oh my gosh, I don't know if it's going to happen. Don't worry about that. Because see, a positive mindset needs energy. And when you have energy, it's just the doors will open up. You'll be so excited. Trust me, it will happen. And then, of course, take action. Have a plan of action in place. Put your goals on your refrigerator. Put them on your mirror in the bathroom. Put them on your cell phone. Wherever it is that you're going to look and see these goals every single day. Because I want you to take action. I want you to make things happen this year. This is 2022. We don't want to go into 2023 still saying, I still have these goals and I'm not sure if it's going to happen. You're still trying to lose that 20 pounds. You're not sure if it's going to happen. You're still trying to get that promotion and you're not sure if it's going to happen. You're wanting to start this business, but you're not sure if it's going to happen. And that's because you haven't put your plan in place. You're not holding yourself accountable. You don't have anyone to hold yourself accountable, and you don't have timelines. And you're making excuses. So stop making excuses. Get over those fears, because you can get over those fears if you do exactly what I tell you. Just take a few moments and believe in yourself and know that you can do it. Because if I can do it, you can do it too. I'm just a country girl from Virginia. Who would have thought that I'd have my own business? Who would have thought? Coming from the farm, raising cows, chickens, pigs, working in the tobacco fields. But I believed in myself. I wanted to be my own boss. I want to control my life. So what I want to show you here in this picture is that middle one, which is the highlight. I always dreamed one day that I would be speaking at an event with those 3 big monochrome screens with an audience of about 500. And there I was the 1st of May in California, fulfilling my dream. Who would have guessed? If I allowed excuses to hold me back, if I allowed fears to hold me back, if I allowed that lack of confidence or that fixed mindset to hold me back, I would have never made it to that stage. I would have never made it to meet those 2 lovely ladies on the sides of my picture that I'd only seen virtually. But I finally had the opportunity to see them in person because I believed in myself and I had my goals and I had timelines and I took action. And that's what I want you to do, is to take action and make it happen. So what's stopping you? What's stopping you from living your best life? You have your pen and paper. Write down these 3 simple questions I want you to answer. You don't have to answer them now, but later on. 3 simple questions. Number 1, how is my life right now? Are you happy with the way things are? Number 2, how would I like my life to be? How would I like my life to be? And number 3, what am I willing to give up? What are you willing to give up to get to what you want, to reach that goal, to start that business, to get that promotion, to retire early, to travel, be able to schedule your time wherever you want to do, work on the beach? What are you willing to give up? And are you okay with going alone? Because sometimes to get what you want, you have to go it alone. But take the time to answer those 3 simple questions. So together, we can move you in the right direction towards your next step so that you too can achieve whatever it is that you want to do in life. Illuminate your potential and live your best life. Thank you for your time. My name is Dr. Linda Jordon. Please connect with me and get on my mailing list for any updates, and you can subscribe to my newsletter. Go to www.lindajordon.com. Thank you so much and be blessed.